Welcome back. The O'Reilly 200 in the books, and that young man is celebrating once again. His 19th career Camping World Truck Series win. That puts him 5th on the all-time list in the Camping World Truck Series.
Ricky's won 76 times in the 3 major series of NASCAR. That's 9th on the all-time list. 9th in the history of NASCAR. You know, how old is he?
Yeah, he's 25.
25.
Earlier
Todd
today,
Bodine, yeah,
he became the youngest pole winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Bodine, 216 points in front of Eric Almirola.
It's over.
And Phil thinks it's over. But
Ron Hornaday moves up.
We have 9 races still to go. Adam.
And Phil, I don't think you're going to convince Todd Bodine the points race is over. Solid run tonight, though. They're still kind of figuring out where you finished officially. The bottom line is you took care of business at a place that's very difficult to do so.
Yeah, I know you guys up there were talking about it. It's pretty disheartened how the truck was running in practice, and really didn't think we had a good truck, and we didn't. The Valvoline Toyota Tundra just is loose in, tight in the middle, tight off, loose in the middle. I mean, I could never make it do the same thing twice, and we kept fighting and adjusting and fighting and adjusting, and ended up 6th. I mean, that's that's what you have to do to win championships. I've said it all along. If you have a bad night, finish in the top 10. Just get the best finish you can. And it's not what we wanted for Valvoline or Toyota, and but we only lost a few points to Eric, and we'll go get them at I think we'll go to Chicago next. And
that's right.
That's I love Chicago. It's the title in town, right?
So Todd Bodine can't get 3 consecutive wins, but I think he'll take a 216-point lead in the championship with 9 races to go. And he must be sharing the knowledge because teammate Miguel Paludo able to get his first career start here tonight in a top 10. You were great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I appreciate all the work, all the support of Stenko Dorline Toyota Tundra, and the team put the truck in 1 week together. So I'm really proud of all these guys. And I'm happy, man. I'm really happy. We got a tight truck, a loose truck, a lot of different trucks in the race, but you can imagine how happy I am.
You know this place is difficult, right? It's not top 10 every time out.
Yeah, every person who I talked with said, why Bristol? Why Bristol? It's tough, but it's perfect. I'm real happy, and it's a team effort. Germain Racing did a great job. I'm real happy.
It's great to have you here. Great effort on your first night. We look forward to seeing you the rest of the year, a few more starts, and perhaps full-time next season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Miguel Paludo, a top 10 run. Very solid at Bristol.
And we're glad that the fans in Brazil are watching us here on Speed. We heard from Miguel. He said, oh, yeah, they're watching the truck race back in Brazil. We take a look at our Edge Products unofficial results. Kyle Busch getting another win in the Camping World Truck Series.
And remember, because of the caution coming out when it did, NASCAR will review all the tapes to determine the proper finishing order. We heard Todd Bodine just say that he finished 6th. Unofficially, he's being shown in 5th. So we know this could possibly change. But as he mentioned, he's not going to lose a whole bunch of points to Eric Almirola.
That's pretty much it there. Maybe move Justin Lawson up to the top 5 and Todd down to 6. That's what it looked like. But great recovery for Mike Skinner. He pitted later than everybody else, got up to 4th spot. Obviously, Hornaday problems early. Look at these runs here. I love seeing Dennis Setzer up in 12th. Bobby Jr. had a good run. Max Pappas wrecked on the last lap, but had a good solid night.
He had a top 10 going, too, till he got wrecked on the last lap. And Austin Dillon, with all his problems, ended up with the 15th place finish.
David Starr and Ken Schrader involved in that big hit.
Elliott Sadler obviously battling for the win late, trying to get around the 2nd place truck of Timothy Peters, make contact. His night ends with a 26th place finish.
A couple guys making their first start in the Camping World Truck Series and not the finishes that they were hoping for. Kyle Busch, though, hoisting the trophy, hoisting the hardware once again at Bristol Motor Speedway. 3 wins in a row for that smiling young man. A crazy night at Bristol Motor Speedway. Ended up almost being a fuel mileage night for Kyle Busch.
Well, that's because these guys push the envelope so hard. They're going to pit on lap 30, knowing they can run about 150 laps under green, but they're going to count on a whole lot more of caution laps to get to the finish.
Our first attempt at a green-white checker. Here is Kyle Busch coming to the white flag. He crosses the stripe. You see the accident behind him, and then watch as the yellow lights there start to come on. That's why Kyle Busch is the winner of this race.
Yeah, if those yellow lights come on before he gets to the start-finish line, as we get another view of the incident here, watch Matt Crafton get in the back of Austin Dillon. Remember, Austin was a couple laps down. Matt was racing the 9 of Max Pappas for position there. They make contact, and that's what starts this last lap incident.
Here comes Austin Dillon to explain to Matt that he wasn't happy with how Matt raced him. Matt was on the lead lap, Austin wasn't, but nevertheless, you know, Matt said he didn't mean to knock Austin out of the way. Well, it certainly looked like he did. I mean, he hit him 3 or 4 times, and when they got out of the trucks, the teams all came to make sure that there wasn't any extracurricular activity on pit road.
And there's Austin going over to explain it to Matt before he gets out of the truck. And
now the crews are going to get involved and say, get away from us. We got this all figured out.
That's Matt's crew chief, Bud Hafley. They're just telling us, hey, just go on away. We'll talk about it at a later date.
But that defines it.
Yeah, I was
right
going to say, world's fastest half mile, you make decisions very quickly, and sometimes they aren't the right decisions.
Well, just think about Elliott Sadler's decision. He had a run on Timothy Peters, and he thought for a second he could squeeze in that place. Well, he couldn't. There wasn't room. But he was just racing that hard, and as he looks back, he'll probably say, you know, probably shouldn't have tried to fit in there. But then look up, world's fastest half mile. Things happen so quickly here.
Well, and we heard from Matt Crafton, who was involved in that accident. Now let's hear from another player in that incident. Standing by with Adam Alexander is Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon making his debut at Bristol, and I guess in many ways you learned the hard way about Thunder Valley. Very upset after the race, so take us through what happened there at the end and your comments with some of the other drivers.
You know, the start of the race just didn't go our way. We got collected in a wreck, and that wasn't what we wanted, but the guys did a great job of fixing the truck and keeping us running. I mean, we didn't have nothing for anybody there at the end, but Crafton wasn't racing for a position either. I mean, I know he was on the lead lap, but the lead lap trucks were plenty far ahead of him. He just drove me off in the corner and kept pushing me, and at a certain point, I can't save it. I feel real bad for Max Pappas and Dennis Setzer. I mean, they had good trucks, and the Truck Series needs as many people as they can in the Truck Series right now, and for him to go and tear up a bunch of trucks there at the end for nothing. I mean, I don't know what it was for, but we'll keep going. It was a decent night for the way it started. 15th and bad for the Bass Pro Shop Chevy.
Austin Dillon, another learning experience tonight here at Bristol.
Take another look at the point standings. Again, 216 points. Now this is the second largest lead with 9 races to go in the series history. Hornaday led by 220 points last year.
And he won, by the way.
And he did end up
Still
winning.
a lot of racing to go, though, right, guys?
Ron Hornaday moves up from 6th to 5th, and he's standing by with Adam.
And he does so on a very eventful night. Ron, you had some issues early, rallied back, and end up finishing 3rd. Take us through an interesting night for your team.
First of all, I got to thank Kroger and Tide to let me drive that fine ride. It was fast. Chevrolet really, it was fun. But no, I don't know. I was just asking Corelli if the 12 got loose or whatever, but I was underneath him, like he diamonded it, come across my nose. You know, I was plenty of room. I mean, there was like 5 trucks up against the wall, basically where we hit, and took the nose and turned the front end and made the thing loose, and I hit the inside wall. But the guys rallied back and made it pretty good, and great calls in the pits, good changes, and it was just fun to drive up through there. But this thing deserves to get in victory lane. I mean, that looked pretty cool, the Tide ride. I don't know how to do the icky shuffle, but I'd have tried.
You look good in orange, by the way.
I'll tell you, I really appreciate Tide coming aboard. It was a lot of fun running the colors. I'm sure that you got to see me on TV. You couldn't not see me, but a lot of fans here, and I got to thank them also for coming out.
They certainly knew he was here tonight, Rick.
Yeah, an impressive run. He was pushing it toward the end of that race because he was trying to get every position he could get.
Yeah, he can't do the icky shuffle, and Darrell can't either, and that didn't stop Darrell, did it? Remember that mess?
Let's go back to Adam.
Eric Almirola kind of came from nowhere to get the runner-up finish tonight, and finally you can gain a few points on Bodine.
Yeah, finally. Man, we had a good truck tonight. I was down in the dumps all day because we didn't have any speed. It just ran the same speed. It never went faster. It never went slower. It just ran the same speed no matter what we changed. So it did the same thing again tonight when we took off for the race. We started 19th, and we run the same speed, and everybody seemed to fall back and come back to us. And then Richie made a great call there at the end of the race to come and get 4 tires with like 50 laps to go, and tires were really big. It seemed like a lot of people were getting really loose off. So great call by him to get our Graceway Pharmaceuticals truck back up front. And, man, the race was just so much dictated by what line you restarted in tonight. The outside was the place to be, and if you got stuck on the inside, you could really lose a lot of spots. So Really proud of all the guys on this Graceway Pharmaceuticals team and everybody at Billy Blue Motorsports. They built that truck in about 2 weeks after we destroyed one at Iowa and then another one at IRP. So they've been working some long hours, and I'm really, really proud of them, and this finish they deserve.
See you in Chicago.
Yeah, I'll be there.
You know, Rick, what's interesting is the same guy that made that call for Eric Almirola to pit with 50 laps to go for tires is the same crew chief that won the last 2 times here by pitting on lap number 30 to 40.
You got to be fluid. You know, you got to make moves. You got to make changes. You can't just say, I'm going to pit now. It depends on how your truck's running. And they saw they need to do something different tonight.
Well, this show moves to Chicagoland next Friday night, 8:30 Eastern is the time for the show for the Camping World Truck Series. That's the next stop. Hard hits here in Bristol, but it was an impressive performance for Kyle Busch once again, coming from the back to the front, 3 in a row from Bristol Motor Speedway in the Camping World Truck Series.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series heads to the Chicagoland Speedway. Last year, Kyle Busch won the inaugural race for the trucks in the Windy City. With the points race heating, in whose favor will the wind blow this time? Chris Devoto hosts the setup starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.